All right. So congratulations, first of all, winning the Alt F Red Earth Award 2020. So that's the
Thank you.
jury special mention. And we're glad to have you here and have a little chat about Kokoly, the film that won this award. Would you just like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes. Hi, everyone. My name's Matthew Judge. I work for Blue Ventures, who is the organization behind the film, Kokoly. I edited the film, and now I also kind of run an impact campaign and kind of a communications campaign around the film. I'm based in Bristol, in England, and I just want to say like a huge thank you to Paul and Garth, the filmmakers out in Madagascar, and the entire team there, who sadly couldn't join today, but they give their best from a slightly warmer Madagascar than Bristol in the UK.
Yes, great. And where I'm calling from in Germany right now as well.
Yeah.
So big shout out to them.
Winter is on its way.
Yes, here for sure. And yeah, we're definitely curious to hear how the story came about in the first place. How did you find out about it? How did you get involved as Blue Ventures as well?
Mm-hmm. So Blue Ventures is a conservation organization that has its origins in Madagascar. We're British, but we work primarily in Madagascar. And we are all about engaging the community, local community, resource users, people that rely on the sea. We're about engaging them in conservation and working with them to identify solutions to problems that we face as a global community, but are especially relevant for people that rely on the sea. So we've been in Madagascar for about 15 years, 16, 17 years now, actually. And we've got to know the community really well. And we've been working with an association called the Volondriac Association in Southwest Madagascar for quite a lot of that 15 years. And we've got to meet some amazing people and some of these characters. And Kokoly, Madame Kokoly, is one such amazing person, character. We use the term character, but she's a real person, you know, she's a real living person. And she's this amazing figure for an organization like ours, because she is in her middle ages, she's in her 50s. She's seen the changes to a marine environment over her own lifetime. But she's still out there doing the fishing and the gleaning and all the other things that she needs to do to survive. So we knew about her already, and when we were coming up with ideas to film, she was really kind of up there in our list, because yeah, she has this experience that she can reflect on, and she's this amazing person with, I'm sure you'll agree, like an incredible work ethic and determination and all the kind of amazing personality qualities that she has. So Paul and Garth started filming Kokoly in early 2016, and spent about 4 months with Kokoly, following her around and just interviewing her at the end of every day. So it was a very informal process of getting to know her over that 4-month period.
And where is she now? Do you know what Madame Kokoly is up to these days?
Well, I'm very pleased to say that despite all the hardships that she's facing, and I guess now the increasing hardship of the impacts of coronavirus in Madagascar, which have mainly been economic, thankfully there's been limited cases and illness due to its remoteness. But the economic conditions are still pretty tough. So she is still working, still fishing, still gleaning. She did finish her house, which is amazing, because in the film she's building her little wooden house. She completed that about 6 months after filming, and we were able to. Well, Paul was able to go and meet Madame Kokoly back in February, just before the COVID crisis really kicked off, and show her the final film and catch up with her. She is, the same amazing, incredible woman, but still dealing with a lot of the same kind of issues around food security and economic security. So she's struggling still, but in high spirits. We're always in high spirits.
Yeah, you can tell in the film. I mean, she has such a strong presence, which shines through the screen, through everything, and moved all of us and the jury, of course, as well. And we have her in the film, and then a few other women, and actually we noticed it's mostly or all female voices. Is that just
Yeah.
something that happened, or or the filmmakers really look out for that? And what does it mean to you as well in terms of representing the underlying environmental issues or the community at large and the roles that those women play?
The type of fishing that Madame Kokoly does, which is called gleaning, which is on the reefs at low tide, it's mainly done by women, and it's an under-recognized fishing activity. It's not really counted in a lot of global databases of fishing. It's sort of under the radar, but actually it's a hugely important source of food for a lot of families. And so we did want to amplify the role that women play in fisheries and in food security in particular. So that was definitely on our minds, but also it just so happened that Kokoly is an amazingly interesting person and a woman, and the other characters in the film were amazingly interesting people and women. So there's two things going on. Yes, we're really interested in highlighting and celebrating women in the film, but to be honest, they were just like more interesting to speak to. And we did have interviews with men. We didn't use those in the end in the final film. And yeah, it's because the women just came across as far more interesting and entertaining, and in often cases quite humorous characters to explore. I guess what it means for us as an organization is just to really highlight that women in fisheries in places like Madagascar need to be considered in conservation. Especially, they're often outside of the decision-making environment, but it's a hugely important source of food and income for quite a few people.
Yeah. And since it's also, of course, an environmental issue that the film touches on, did you ever play with the idea of including more scientific background information, or was it also a decision, like an active decision, not to focus on that and let her tell her own story? What was your approach in that regard?
So we're an NGO, and a lot of our previous films have been quite scientific. They've been, I like to describe them as top down, like looking down on a subject and explaining a lot of things. Our work involves things like fisheries management, mangrove conservation, and there's a lot of science in there that needs to be explained. And there's a time and place for that kind of explanation and unpacking of a project or an idea. But our intention with Kokoly was very much to tell a story, because let's say the empathetic imagination that you can get across in a story is probably more impactful than a bunch of facts and figures. So it was always meant to be a story first and foremost, and we didn't want to put too much of our own organization in the film as well. Kokoly's words are very powerful; they're her own words. And it didn't really feel right to try and shoehorn in a message about our organization and why you should support Blue Ventures and why you should potentially donate to us. This is about her. It's about her lived experience and the experience of hundreds of millions of others like her in Madagascar and across the tropics. So it was a conscious decision not to inject kind of a scientific lens or a third party into the narrative, but just to let her speak freely.
Great. And maybe this is a bit more of a personal question, but since you're so deeply involved in the whole project, I'm wondering what you want people to walk away with, or would you like them to take a certain action? Would you just like them to take away the knowledge of the story? Or what's your wish?
Yeah, I think we want this to be a celebration of Madame Kokoly as a representative for small-scale fisheries, for small-scale fishers like her. We want this to be an amplification of her experiences and voices. As we continue to wrestle with global challenges like climate change, overfishing, and many more, it's the indigenous communities' voices that are often underheard So the take home really is listen to what she says and pay attention. The film doesn't explore solutions to these problems. We're unable to do that with this particular piece. So my take home is just to listen to her carefully and then think about what kind of questions the film raises in your own mind, and then seek answers to that, either from an organization like ours or from more people like her.
Great. Awesome. Well, yeah, we definitely recommend everyone who's visiting our festival to check out the film Kokoly. And thank you so much for your time, and congratulations again to you and your entire team.
No problem. Thank you very much, and enjoy the festival, everyone. It's going to be good.